I've said for years on our website that cameras that stay in drawers don't take many pictures. And a lot of the reasons that people leave cameras in drawers is because they're afraid that their valuable investment, their camera they spent a few $100s for, is going to get ruined. If you take it to the beach, it's going to get sand in it. You take it on your backpacking, you're going to get water or mud or something. But there's been a trend developing lately that Olympus really was the leader of to make tough cameras, cameras that you can take anywhere and you don't have to baby them. You don't have to worry about them getting ruined. I'm here with Sally Smith-Clemens from Olympus, and she's going to tell us about some of their past models and what we have today for their latest evolution of this tough series of cameras. So, Sally, take it away.
You know, you're absolutely right, Dave. One of the philosophies of Olympus has always been that we want you to be able to take your pocket camera wherever you go. I mean, we don't want you to be in a situation where you say, well, gosh, it looks like rain, I better not take my good camera. We want you to take your camera. So for that reason, back in 2006, we came out with the world's very first shockproof and waterproof cameras, digital cameras, that you can actually go right underwater, right out of the box. They'll handle, at that point in time, back in 2006, it was a 5-foot drop if you happened to drop it or your kid dropped it. And they evolved as time went by. They became freeze-proof now, 14 degrees. There's a model that's crush-proof. It'll handle 220 pounds if you're really if you're a snowboarder or surfing, et cetera, and you fall on it. The entire line, in the evolution of the line, you can kind of see it here behind me. We've got many different iterations of this, and the product has ranged in price from $300 to $400 depending upon the function. Some of the products will go 33 feet underwater right out of the box if you like to dive. You can even get underwater housings if you want to go 130 feet underwater. Some are designed mainly for boating, for the pool, the 10 feet underwater, etc. And even now, in the newer models, I think you were with me this past year when we introduced a model that had a built-in 3D accelerometer, something we called tap control. You remember that?
Yeah, we saw it over at Photokina, I think.
Yeah, because now that they're freeze-proof, if you have your big snow gloves on and you're up on the slopes, the little tiny buttons on the back of these pocket cameras are very hard to access and to control. So now with the 3D accelerometer, you can simply tap the camera and bring up certain functions that are the most common ones to adjust.
Yeah, that's great. The camera's freeze-proof, my fingers aren't, so I need to wear the gloves, and then what do?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, easy to use, but really designed to be worry-free or worry-proof so that you can use them in any application for extreme type of applications in lifestyle shooting.
That's great. Well, we have some of the cameras here to look at, and we've also got some examples of how tough they are over the other side of the room. Let's go take a look at those.
Check it out.
All right, so here we are. These are all the things you shouldn't do at home unless you have a Stylus Tough camera. What's the first one here?
That's a good point. The first thing I'm going to show you is this kind of shockproof ability. All of the Tough series, the Stylus Tough series cameras, the current models, by the way, are the Stylus Tough 6000 and the Stylus Tough 8000. That Tough designation really describes this kind of shockproof ability of these cameras. I mean, there could be times, think about it, they're waterproof, your hands are wet, you're getting out of the pool, or maybe you're kayaking like I would be, you drop it. You drop it on the reef or whatever. I'm going to drop this camera in this tube. Now, this is probably less than a 5-foot drop. And remember, these cameras, depending upon the model, either a 5-foot or a 6.5-foot drop. But basically, I can drop the camera down, but I'm going to go ahead now and turn it on. Lens cap's open. All I have to do now is dust off the sawdust from the back there and take a shot.
And it works.
And it works just fine. Shockproof.
Oh. I wince every time you do that.
Yeah. I know, it's a weird feeling when you watch that drop. Now, if we come across over here, the waterproof, probably one of the most fun things to do with your camera is stand at the edge of the water at the beach on the sand with your digital camera in your hand. You're taking the shots, you've got the clouds, and maybe you've got your kids in the foreground going, come on, honey, get over there and take your picture, and then walk into the water with your camera. You would not believe the expression on the other people's face on the beach. Not to say even yourself, it's a little strange going into salt water with your camera. But the Stylus Tough series cameras, absolutely. I can just go ahead and dunk this thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you wet there. The two different models. There's the Stylus 6000 will go 10 feet underwater right out of the box. Personally, I like to snorkel, so this is the best camera for me. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe you're in really clear water, Caribbean, you can see sometimes 50 feet. You're going to dive down, pick up, well, you're not supposed to pick up any shells down there, but you're going to go down and look at something and take a photograph. There is a model 8000 that will let you go down 33 feet, and as I mentioned, you can even get the underwater housings.
All right, so that's waterproof. What do we got next?
Freezeproof. Another attribute of the Stylus Tough series products is the fact that they're all freeze-proof. They'll handle temperatures down to 14 degrees. So if you are, in the wintertime, you don't even have to be a skier. I'm personally a warm weather person, but I'm telling you, this has been one of the most brutal winters all across the nation. And if you want to go out and shoot pictures and it's snowing or it's very cold outside and you're thinking, gosh, I don't want to take my, my good camera, I don't know if it's going to work in that kind of weather, absolutely, take your Stylus Tough. Here I'm going to go ahead and set the date if I want to on this camera. I can use this camera. I can also use tap control in this camera. If I've got the big gloves on, I can tap the camera a couple times on the top, turn on tap control and accept the tap control setting. And now with tap control active, I can bring up things like the flash, turning it on and off and controlling it. I can accept the setting. I can even go into playback. I can do all kinds of things just with the tap of my hand. Because remember, if you're in that kind of temperatures, 14 degrees, you've absolutely got gloves on. And sometimes with big gloves, these little buttons are hard to maneuver. So tap control inside the Stylus Tough is really handy.
That's really clever. And both of these new models we're talking about, the 6000, 8000, they're both tap control?
They're both tap control. The Stylus Tough series are tap control. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing, and this is really interesting. We're getting ready to show you. There's a Stylus Tough 8000. Now, I'm going to ask for the help for one of our tech reps, Becky, to demonstrate this for us. We've got a machine here that we're going to actually come ahead and try to crush one of these cameras to show you the kind of weight and pressure that the cameras can actually withhold. So I'm going to bring Becky over.
Okay. Hey, Becky.
How you doing? Good. So here we have the Stylus Tough 8000. This is 12 megapixel, the one that goes down to 33 feet. It's crush proof to 220 pounds. So here we have our press. I'm going to activate it, turn it on. And as I press this, you'll start to see the weight come up. And this will go to about 190, but the camera is tested for 220 pounds. Okay, and then we're going to release it. As you can see,
it's still working. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Well, these models we've just been looking at here, these are shockproof and waterproof. But you were telling me earlier off camera that you have a less expensive model that's waterproof only.
That's right, Dave. Thanks for reminding me. We actually introduced a new member to the family, if you will, of waterproof cameras, and that is the Stylus WP, WP standing for waterproof. So in addition to the Stylus Tough, which are shockproof, waterproof, freeze-proof, and one of those models is also crush-proof, we also now have a new model called the Stylus WP, Stylus WP 550. First model comes in a variety of colors. It's only $199. It's waterproof only, 10 feet. It doesn't have the shockproof, freeze-proof, crush-proof attributes. But we found a lot of people, think about it, when you're at the beach, you see them with those disposable cameras. Why not spend $199? Get yourself a good waterproof camera, digital camera. You can use it over and over again then.
Well, that's great. So it's a lot cheaper, but it still has the waterproof and opens up a lot of possible opportunities to take the camera along.
Sure, and you can use it from now on, whether it's raining or you're going to go to the pool or you're just going to go out on the boat.